Well, hello everyone, and this is a review of the SooSoo Toys Anna Marie figure, and I just got this in the mail yesterday, and it's been a while since I've been waiting for a Rogue 1/6 scale figure. And SooSoo Toys has released the Gambit figure, and that looks like really good quality. And in one of the YouTube reviews, I saw that SooSoo Toys may be one of those third parties that is more or less kind of like Hot Toys quality. So when this figure came out, I just had to try out and buy one myself just to see the quality of the figure. So let's go ahead and open her up. So in terms of the box, uh, there's like a nice artwork at front. I don't know who the artist is to be credited here, and then some information at the back. I guess these are just like some small sort of like warnings. That this is for ages 15 and up. Now, let's just open this up and see what we have here. Now, out of the box, there's another cool artwork here. Again, there is no credit to the artist who made this art, but it looks kind of wicked. And now, as we open that, out of the box, we see Rogue only has a few accessories. There's the leather jacket that's made kind of like a pleather material, and also a pair of hands that are opened and then the fists that are closed. And she also gets an extra face here that's smiling. So I'm just going to go and try and open that here. Now, when I received this from SooSoo Toys, from the seller, it was really sealed. So it was sealed by this like plastic baggie. I don't know if you can see that, so that's like the SooSoo logo. So it was all sealed. It was nicely packed by the seller, and I got this off eBay. But the first thing that I kind of also noticed, and this might be a fairly common problem with this. I mean, this suit here is nicely textured, right? And let's take off this cover. So her head is nicely, pliable. But one thing that I kind of caution against this sort of like type of figure is that when I open this, there's like a tissue that's covered here, that's covering her waist. And I think that's coming from the manufacturer. But see, there is already like a tiny sort of abrasion here. That I'm not sure whether that was coming from manufacturer's defect or because of the shipping or maybe because of the temperature changes, which I kind of highly doubt because it was really packed in tight. But I suspect that this is sort of like that type of rubber material that may degrade easily through time. Now, again, because this is my first SooSoo Toys figure, it may not be it's the same quality control as Hot Toys. I can't verify that for sure, but I'm not even sure whether I would contact SooSoo Toys to let them know that the one that I received had a little bit of like a blemish here or not. Maybe that's not much of a non-issue for me because essentially this belt that Rogue has, and just see the loop yard here. It's looped in, right? So you don't need to install that one. See, there's another piece of that tissue paper that I was referring to. That's already going to cover this side anyway, right? Like so it covers that. And I also kind of suspect, right, that from the shipping when they packed it in, this kind of belt might have actually scratched the leather here, because when it just falls down to her waist like that and just leave it like that, that is precisely what covers it. So I just caution you guys, if you manage to purchase her and you find that sort of like defect. I mean, I'm not sure. Like I said, it might have been scratched because of the packaging, but when I received it from the seller, it was pristine. It was sealed. So in no way, or that I could blame the seller for this. But again, it might be like a quality issue control that SooSoo Toy has. But essentially, that is with her with her sort of like leg high boots, and the boots are they're not actually they're not removable. They're actually just part of the it's not like a pleather boot. It's actually a molded sort of plastic, hard plastic, and also there's articulation on her foot. So it's like a there's I don't think this is double jointed, right? So a single jointed knee, and then also her open hands, right? Like just like a and I guess these are also just from a peg. Again, there's some waist articulation. Again, I'll be careful to like overstretch this kind of like type of rubber. There is some shoulder articulation too, right? Oh yeah, so see that part here is already sort of like already stretching, and I see a little bit of like the adhesive, right, coming through. But overall, I think those are the only two defects that I'm seeing. So those two sort of like tiny pieces, that's actually the tissue paper with a little bit of adhesive, I think, when it came from the manufacturer. But this is double jointed elbow, so not so bad. So there you go. Like it wrinkles a bit, but not too, like, again, like I said, it's not super bad in terms of what you might expect. I mean, the ball joint is on the neck is tight. This is, I don't know, I guess I can feel the joints here. So it's not like a Fison, like a seamless body. It's more like you could feel some of the joints here underneath the clothing, which is good, because now it gives it a little bit more flexibility. But again, the issue again is the rubber suit, which is fine. I mean, like I said, but look at that lovely head sculpt. I mean, can't really complain with that. I mean, that's like with the painted eyes. That's really good quality overall. Let's see. Now she does also come with a stand, right, with the X logo. It's just like a plain X logo stand, and also yeah. So let's try and just fit her on this temporarily while we look at the no, again, there's not much stuff here in terms of accessories, but I'd say just in terms of like the sculpt quality, and especially if you're like me and you've been waiting for a rogue figure for a long time, this is not so bad. And then this is her extra head. And what's interesting about this, looks like it's magnetized. So it looks like that she has a magnet here on top of her head. So this is like the smiling head. So rub off a bit of I think that's like a tissue or dirt there. And there's two magnets here. It's on a ball joint, right? And I suspect if we remove this, there we go. So you could remove her gray bangs. I guess the back as well. There we go. And what you can do, and then there's a magnet attachment, right, to both. It just fits snugly. There you go. And now you have a smiling rogue. That's kind of nifty, right? Let's see if that would focus a little bit better, right? So that's not too shabby. In fact, it's quite excellent in terms of head sculpt. So I just zoomed out a bit so that you can see a little more of the head sculpt, both of them, right? That's pretty cool. I like it. So I mean, there's really not much to discuss in terms of the other stuff that's on here. I mean, like I said, this is sort of like basic stuff. I think when you have a figure, and they must have spent a little bit more time in terms of like the head sculpt and all that. I know with this kind of like head sculpt with this type of quality, that could be like a very expensive production, right? And again, the other accessory that she has here, like the leather, like the leather jacket. I mean, at some point, I think I'll display her with the leather jacket because that's very iconic. It's like the very 90s Rogue that we see in the cartoon X-Men, right? But right now, just because of the way that the rubber suit is kind of a little bit fragile and might sort of just come off, I think what I would rather do as of the moment is just kind of like display her as is, and then once I've mustered up a little bit of a courage to put on the jacket, then I guess I'll do that at some point, and then make another sort of like review again. But other than that, again, the accessories are like the open hands here. There's two of like a sort of like open kind of like grabbing hands. Because of course, like she's wearing gloves, so I don't think she'll absorb any powers. And then also like two of these close-fisted gloves, which are nicely shaded, right? Like the overall, like I'm kind of happy about this. For the price. You're looking at around 250 US, which is still slightly, which is still, I would think, cheaper. Like 2023 now, I think the hot toys, most of them go above 350, minimum and above for most hot toy stuff. So, like I said, with this sort of figure, this type of figure could be, you could display it next to your hot toys, and no one would say, that they're going to be sort of like far in terms of quality. Like I said, there's like a few issues in terms of what I see would be like the leather might be easily disintegrating, but early Hot Toys also had those issues. So that may just be something that we just have to live with as collectors, because obviously this is not a type of toy that you'd give to anyone just to sort of like tinker and play with, and this is more or less like a collector item that you're bound to like. You can pose it and then display it. So essentially there's that. Hopefully this review helps in terms of things to watch out for, and just like the overall review of Rogue here. And like I said, it's overall, for the price that I paid for this, fairly reasonable, and quality again is very, very good. I can't complain. I mean, look at that detail, right? In terms of like the ridges here, like you could in terms of like the ridges here, you could totally feel that there's the rubber texturing, right, on this side. I mean, this has been well made toy. Again, like I said, good quality overall for 250, shipping included. Can't go wrong with that. So anyway, this has been my review, and hope that helps, and see you guys next time.